Hello ladies and gentlemen, C14 here, and welcome back to another Minecraft World War II vehicle tutorial. In this tutorial, we'll be going ahead and building the WR360 C14. The locomotive we have in front of us is a diesel locomotive. They were built in the late 1930s as shunting locomotives for the German Wehrmacht. The engines themselves were designed for more of a light-duty type role, transporting, small things around maybe rail yards or between short distances. These weren't the long-distance and heavy transporting locomotives like the BR-52 that you can see to this side there, those big giant steam locomotives, as these were a little bit more underpowered compared to those. The engine itself was notably used in the movement of the Krupp K5 guns into firing positions, so especially over on the France coast, they were moving the guns in and out of bunkers to avoid air raids, and this would be the locomotive that would actually be used to pull or push the gun out of those bunkers and move them onto the tracks to traverse them to, fire at whatever they were targeting. So those are the main use of this locomotive, and that's why we're doing the tutorial right now for it, because this will be an awesome build to accompany your Krupp K5 railway gun if you went ahead and built that. As I record this video, I just posted that tutorial yesterday, but you're more than welcome to search for my World War II playlist or my past videos, or even the little search bar on my channel page, and you can search for you can find my Krupp K5 gun, railway gun, and build that and have it attached to this locomotive here and kind of create some cool scenes out of it. Now with that, let's go and dive in here and take a look at the locomotive. It's really simple. It's a small, pretty self-explanatory build and relatively easy. But right here you have the main kind of body, which is, I imagine, where the diesel engine is housed. It has 3 wheels on each side, so 6 wheels total that make contact with the ground. We then have the cab of the train, or the cabin, whatever you want to refer to it as, with basically where the crew would operate the locomotive from. And then back here we have where the cars would connect up to it and all that stuff. So overall, it's a pretty simplistic build and pretty straightforward. I will be talking about how to connect this up to the Krupp K5 railway gun in this tutorial. So if you are wanting to connect it, you will have some explanation on how to connect it up. With that though, let's go ahead and dive into our tutorial by beginning with our first layer. Alright guys, so going ahead and moving into our tutorial here for the train, we're going to be going ahead and obviously starting off with our first layer, which will be layer number 1. A quick few things I want to mention here is that for this build, I will be going ahead and doing half on, half off. What this means, I'm going to be building the entire center line on camera, and then the right side, it'll be up to you guys to then copy. I guess technically in this case it's the left side, but then it'll be up to you guys to copy the other side over. This train is symmetrical, so whatever we do on one side will be done to the other. That makes things pretty easy for us. At a very minimum, you will need 22 blocks of length of track to get this locomotive to sit there perfectly. This means that there will be no overhang past the bumpers, so just keep that in mind going forward. You will need to make sure that you have enough space for this train to sit. In addition, my track design is really straightforward. I'm not going to go and spend too much time in it, but if you need to, you can kind of pause the video here and take a look at what I did for my track, minus the weird spacing here from these walls. But basically, all we have here is basically a row of 3 of spruce wood slabs. We skip a space, place a spruce wood slab to each side, and then in this middle space, we're just going to have a row of polished deep slate walls on both sides for the rails. We're going to go then skip a space altogether and do the same thing for spruce wood, and we're just going to continue this all the way forward to create this track pattern. It's really straightforward and all that, and you can also see I did put mine on a gravel bed. So I have my gravel, and then I went ahead and used andesite slabs here for the sides to kind of mimic a elevated graveled, rail setup. So definitely feel free to do whatever you want there for your tracks, and that is going to need to be done before we go ahead and get started with the train. Now this train here is in particular going to be set up with our Leopold gun, but you can also go ahead and take this train and connect it to maybe future tutorials I have with railway cars, so there's also that option for you. However, this one here in particular, we're going to go ahead and connect it up to our Leopold, so we're going to be going ahead and basically using that as our reference point to get this thing started. So we're going to be going ahead and building off the back of the Leopold gun. So we have our cranes section back here. This is where the train would actually be hooked up to. You could also have the train facing it forward. Either way would work, but we're going to have the train facing this way, as it seems in pictures, and what I've seen, it pulls the gun out and rather than pushing it. And it also does not hook up on the front there, because obviously with the gun and you know, all that. You don't want to have it affect your locomotive. So with that, to go ahead and get started with this, we're going to be going ahead and going from this end rod right here. So we have this end rod that we set up, and this is part of the lapelled gun. And again, this is going to be the same setup for either side of the gun. If you do want to have it on the front, you're more than welcome to. But we're going to go ahead and build off the back here. We're going to go ahead and go off this end rod 1, 2, 3, and 4 blocks. We're going to go ahead and then place down a polished black stone top slab, and then we're going to place down a second top slab to the side, followed by a third and fourth. So in total, you have a row of 7. And then we're going to place down one more top slab that goes forward like so. After that's done, we want to go ahead and then place down a dark oak wood sign that's going to go on the side of this top slab here. And then we're going to place down dark oak wood signs on these other, this other slab here going out to the sides. So it's going to be like that on both sides there. Now we're going to go ahead and also place down a block that comes off this, and if you're on Java, we're going to place down a lever, and we're going to use a tool called the debug stick. This can be obtained by typing the command /give appp minecraft :debug_stick. So this command right here, press and enter will give you this glowing stick. We're going to left click this lever till we get selected facing and rotate it around till it comes off this slab here. So it's going to look like this here on the back. You can also go ahead and use dark oak wood fence gates as a substitution. So for example here, we can place down a dark oak wood fence gate like this and open it up toward the slab as a alternate if you don't have access to the debug stick. After that's done, we're going to go ahead and go off this polished blackstone slab. We're going to go forward 1, 2, 3, 4 blocks. And we're going to go ahead and place down a two stone brick upside down stairs back to back. We're going to go ahead and skip a space like this, and then we're going to place down a polished blackstone top slab, skip a space again, and again another set of 2 of stone brick stairs upside down back to back. And then we're going to place down a dark oak wood trapdoor and another 2 upside down stairs back to back, just like this. Now once you have that done, we can delete any of these blocks we placed here as we won't need them any longer. We're going to go and go between these stone brick stairs here. We're going to place down a row of top slabs, and then we're going to go ahead and go to the sides of the build. We're going to place down a wither skeleton skull coming off this stair here, then 2 dark oak wood fence gates forward, another skeleton skull, and one more fence gate, another skeleton skull, 2 more fence gates, and then 1 more wither skeleton skull like that. And then on the front here, we're going to place down a dark oak wood trapdoor. We then want to go ahead and place down 1, 2, 3 polished blackstone top slabs, and then 1 right here in the middle. And then we're going to place down a row of 3 that will go across from this stone brick top slab across to connect up to, or from the axles there for your wheels of the train. After that is all done, we're going to go forward from the dark oak wood trapdoor there. So we want to go ahead and just go forward with 1 block, and we're going to place down a dark oak wood top slab. We're going to place down 1 over, and then a second one that's going to be in the middle, and then 1 out to the side. On the front here, we're going to do the same thing we did for the back. So we have a sign on that middle top slab, and then we have a lever that's going to be rotated around using our debug stick coming off this top slab. Again, you can use a fence gate as an alternative, and then 2 dark oak wood signs across on those slabs. We're also going to place down a dark oak wood fence gate that's going to go here off this dark oak wood top slab, open it up to the side, and then we're going to place down a dark oak wood sign on the side of the fence gate. We'll go ahead and delete that block, and that will basically get us set up for the base there of our train. And the very last thing we need to do here is we're just going to go and take end rods. We're going to place down 3 end rods coming off this polished blackstone top slab on this rear axle, going all the way back like this, so you have a row of 3. And on the very tip here, we're going to place down a lever. So again, we'll use our debug stick, block to the side, and just rotate our lever around. You can also use, again, a dark oak wood fence gate that would be positioned here and open up like that as an alternative. But the lever there is going to be the best choice. And that is what we have there for the train. Now, just to go ahead and clarify, in case there's any confusion, you'll be going ahead and taking what we just did on this left side and flipping it over to the right side. And this is what you want for the top-down view with that all complete. I also want to go ahead and clarify that this right here is the back of the train, or the locomotive. So this is where that cab is going to be seated right here. The front is going to be obviously up here, so it is going to be facing that way. So something I probably should have clarified a little bit earlier, but just to make sure we're all on the same page, that is the direction it's going to be facing. So with that all the way, we'll go ahead and then move on to our next layer, which will be layer number 2. Alright guys, so moving into our next layer, we have layer number 2. for layer 2 to go ahead and get started with here, we're going to place down a gray concrete block and then a polished black stone wall coming off of it, and then a zombie head. Now this is going to be if you don't have the train connected up to the railway gun, but if you do want to go ahead and connect this up to the railway gun, we're going to go ahead and go off this wall here. We're actually going to go and swap that skeleton skull out for a dark oak wood fence gate. And we're going to do the same thing over here. So I believe over here we had a top slab, and then we had our wither skeleton skull. We're going to go and delete that wither skeleton skull and place down a dark oak wood fence gate. So it's going to be like this. And then in this middle space here, we're going to go ahead and just place down a polished black stone wall like that. And that's going to form the connection there. And honestly, I probably would want to put a gray concrete block. So I'm going to place down a gray concrete block there, and that would be the connection there between the gun and this locomotive here. So that's all you need to do for that. Really straightforward. That's how you actually show the connection. And again, you can do what we did earlier and you know, have the train not connected as well. Also, I went ahead and used the debug stick here on this fence gate. I went ahead and left clicked it till I get selected in wall. I set that to true because it does stick up a little bit if it's not connected to a wall, but when we connect it to a wall, it sits nice and even with this one here, so it kind of looks a little bit better. But again, just kind of a little miscellaneous thing you can do there for Java. Anyways, after this gray concrete block, we're going to place down one more, and then a polished black stone wall, a polished black stone upside down stair, and then we're going to place down a row of gray concrete, going forward for a total of 14. We're going to place down a polished black stone wall and a wither skeleton skull on the front here. If you do have the train connected up here at the front, you can go ahead and also substitute that out for what we did on the back there as that connection. So definitely feel free to play around with it and make things work. After that though, we're going to place down a gray concrete block here to the side, and then one more. This is going to be on our back section of the train. And then we're going to place down a lever, and we're going to flick this lever so it faces downwards like that. We're going to go ahead and place down a polished black stone wall, followed by a polished black stone upside down stair, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 gray concrete blocks like that going back. We're going to go ahead and place down a lever on this side here, flick it down like that, and then we're going to place down a gray concrete block here to the side, and then a piston that's going to come off that block like that facing outwards. Once we have that done, we're going to go ahead and then skip this space here. We're going to place down an anvil that's going to sit on top of this dark oak wood trapdoor. And then we're going to place down 2 stone brick stairs back to back, as well as another anvil. Again, 2 stone brick stairs back to back. After that, we're going to place down a polished black stone wall, a gray concrete block, and another polished black stone wall like that. And we're going to go and then place down 2 more stone brick stairs back to back like so. And then a polished black stone wall, followed by an end rod, and a wither skeleton skull like that going back. And then we just want to go ahead and place down a dark oak wood fence gate that's going to sit on top of this top slab, and we're going to open that up to the side there. And then we're just going to place down a dark oak wood sign on the side of that fence gate. Once that's all done, we're going to go ahead and take our gray concrete and just place down 2 more blocks across the side there to go ahead and finish off the back. And we're going to place down a piston that's going to be coming off this block here, and that should push back and connect up at that point. So we have our bumpers done, and that is all we have there for that. And the last thing here is going to be up here at the front of the train. We're going to place down a gray concrete block like so, and then we're going to place down a gray shulker box coming off this anvil, and then a gray shulker box to both sides of that middle shulker box. And then after that, we're going to place down a polished black stone wall, and to the sides here of these shulker boxes also, we're going to place down a button on these 2 blocks like that. That right there is going to wrap up everything we have for layer number 2 of the locomotive. And again, here's a top-down view of what that looks like once you have both sides transferred over to each other. With that though, that's going to wrap up everything we have there for this layer. And we'll be going ahead and moving into our next layer, which will be layer number 3. Moving into our next layer here, we have layer number 3. For layer 3 to go ahead and get started with here, we're going to go ahead and place down a gray concrete block on top of this block here. So it's just going to be located like this. And we're going to go ahead and then go from this gray concrete block, and we're going to go ahead and go forward almost all the way to the front for a total of 16 more blocks, so we have 17 gray concrete blocks in total. Up here on the front, we're going to place down a deep slate tile full block, and then 1 more deep slate tile block to the side. We're going to go back from that block with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 gray concrete blocks back. We're going to go ahead and then go to this last gray concrete block. We're going to have our 2 polished black stone top slabs. So again, that middle gray concrete, 2 polished black stone top slabs back, and then 2 wither skeleton skulls to the sides of those top slabs. So after that, on the back there, we're going to go ahead and then place down a gray concrete block here to the side. We're going to go ahead and then place down 1, 2, 3 polished black stone top slabs in that spot there. And then we want to go and take our gray concrete. We're going to place down a gray concrete block, then 2 gray shulker boxes, then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 gray concrete, 2 more gray shulker boxes, and then another 3 gray concrete forward. We're going to go ahead and place down a dark oak wood trapdoor there on the very front like so. After that's all done, we're going to go ahead and place down a polished black stone stair here to the side, a item frame coming off the side of the stair, and then a snowball in the item frame. We're going to go ahead and then go back from the stair with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 of these deep slate slabs back. And then we're going to place down a polished black stone top slab, a second top slab, and then a shulker box that's going to be upside down like so. And then we want to go ahead and place down another dark oak wood top slab here, and then a gray concrete block. We're going to go ahead and place down a dark oak wood sign on the side of this block here, the side of this slab, and also I believe on the side of these 2 slabs as well. So 1 and 2, and all the way along the side here of these deep slate tile slabs, we're going to be going ahead and placing down signs. So it's going to be a bit of a tedious process, but something that will look really good in the end. So again, we're going to take this all the way along the side here and all the way to the front here, even on the front of the stair. So just like that, and you'll have your sides finished. Now, once that's all done, we're going to go ahead and place down a dark oak wood sign here, and then an item frame on the side of this block, and a snowball in the item frame. And that's going to form those lights there. And with that all done, that is going to wrap up everything we have here for layer number 3 of the locomotive. Again, just double checking to make sure I didn't miss anything, and everything appears to be good to go so far. So again, that right there is going to complete layer 3, and you'll take again what we did on the right, or on this left side here, and flip it over to the right side. So this way you should have for the top-down view. With that all complete, we'll go ahead and move on to our next layer, which will be layer number 4. Moving into our next layer, we have layer number 4. For layer 4 to start with, we're going to go ahead and grab ourselves some gray carpet. So let me go and just grab that real quick. And we're going to place down 2 gray carpets on top of these 2 top slabs. We're going to go ahead and place down a row of gray concrete all the way down the center line here for a total of 17. And then a deep slate tile block here on the front. We're going to place down a second deep slate tile block here to the side, and then we're going to place down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, and 17 gray concrete back. And then we're going to place down a lever here on the end of that gray concrete. We're going to take our gray concrete again, and we're going to place down a another row to the side here. This is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 gray concrete, and then 1, 2, 3 deep slate tile blocks. 2 more gray concrete, and then 1, 2, 3, and 4 deep slate tile blocks again, and then 1, 2, 3 gray concrete all the way to the front, and then a dark oak wood trapdoor like that on the side of that block up here in the front like so. After that's done, we're going to go ahead and place down an end rod on top of this stair here, and then on the left side, and the left side only, we're going to go ahead and grab ourselves a ladder, and we're going to place down a ladder here, and then a end rod. The other side, we are not going to be placing down any ladder. Though we will have the end rods. After that, we're going to go ahead and go back here to this section here. We're going to place down a gray concrete block here to the side, then 1 and 2 blocks forward. We're going to follow this up with a white concrete block, and then another gray concrete block. On the side, we're going to go ahead and grab levers, and we're going to place down a lever here, and a lever there to go ahead and do some of the side detailing. And that right there is going to complete everything we have for layer number 4. Here is a top-down view of what that looks like. And with that, we'll be going ahead and diving into our next layer, which will be layer number 5. Moved into our next layer, we have layer number 5. For layer 5 to go ahead and get started with here, we're going to place down a deep slate tile block on the middle here on top of that from the previous layer. We're going to go ahead and place down a row of gray concrete all the way down the center line of our build for a total of 17. We're going to place down a block here to the side, and then coming off this block, we're going to place down a barrier block. This barrier block can be obtained by typing the command /give at p barrier, or you can do Minecraft : barrier. Either one will work, and pressing enter will give you this block here. It's red, has a red line through it, and all that stuff. When we don't have the block in our hand, it will turn those invisible, and we're going to use this to build a lever off the side of it, like down the back. So you can see that's what it looks like. They're also known as structure blocks on the Bedrock editions, so you will have to look up how to get those, as I'm not familiar how you get those in those versions, but just know that you will be using your invisible block to basically build a lever on. After that's all done, we're going to go ahead and then go forward from this gray concrete block. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 blocks, and then we're going to place down a deep slate tile block on the front here. We're going to place down there a gray concrete block to the side. This is going to be followed with a dark oak wood trapdoor closed on the side of it, and then a second gray concrete block back with a ladder on the side of it. Then we're going to place down a third grade concrete block, and we'll go ahead and take the time real quick to go ahead and grab some flower pots, and we're going to place down a flower pot on these two end rods just like that, and that'll be done on both sides. And again, the ladder is going to be only on the left side of the train. We're going to go ahead and then place down a row of 1, 2, 3, and 4 deep slate tile blocks, then 2 gray concrete, and then 3 deep slate tile blocks like that, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 gray concrete all the way to the back. Then out to the side here, we're going to place down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 gray concrete, and on top of these levers, we're going to go ahead and place down a chain. So just a chain on top of the levers, and then we're also going to place down a birchwood button on the side of this gray concrete block above the white concrete. So that is what it's going to look like there for the build. Anyways, though, with that all out of the way, that is going to wrap up everything we have for layer number 5, and with that we'll be going ahead and hopping into layer number 6. Moving into our next layer, we'll be going ahead and moving into layer number 6. For layer 6 to go ahead and get started with here, we're going to place down a gray concrete block on top of this deep slate tile block, and we're going to place down a dark oak trapdoor coming off of it. We're going to go back from that gray concrete with a long row down the center here. This can be a total of 15 blocks, a black concrete block, and a black stained glass block on the back there. To the sides, we're going to go ahead and place down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18 gray concrete, and then a dark oak wood trapdoor that will close like that. Go ahead and continue on. After we have that done right there, we're going to go ahead and take our polished black stone stairs, and we're going to place down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, and then we're going to place down 1, 2, 3 gray concrete, and then a black concrete block, and then there gray concrete. To the side, we're going to place down a gray concrete block here, then a black stained glass block, and then 1, 2, 3 gray concrete forward like so. On top of these chains, we're just going to place down one more chain that goes up like this, and also on the back here, we're going to place down gray carpet on top of this lever, and that barrier block like that on the sides. After that is all done there, that is going to wrap up everything we have for layer number 5, and with that, we'll be going ahead and moving into layer, actually, that is layer number 6. With that, we'll be moving on to layer number 7. Moving into our next layer, we have layer number 7. For layer 7 to go ahead and get started with, we're going to go ahead and begin with by placing down a black stained glass block on top of this one, and then a black concrete block forward of it. We're going to go ahead and place down a row of 3 of gray concrete, and then to the sides here, we're going to place down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 gray concrete blocks, and then another gray concrete block here, followed by black concrete, and then 1, 2, 3 gray concrete, and then another gray concrete block here, then a black stained glass block, and then 3 gray concrete blocks forward, like that. Now, on top of these chains here, we're going to place down a lever and have it flicked downwards to connect up to the chains like so. And we'll go ahead and then focus our attention here to this section. We're going to go ahead and skip a space down our middle row. We're going to place down a polished black stone wall, and we're going to go ahead and place down black signs around the wall like so. We're going to go forward 1, 2, 3. In that 4th block forward, we're going to place down a redstone repeater, and we're going to spread the notches from each other like so. After that, we're going to go ahead and place down 3 dark oak wood trapdoors, and then another redstone repeater with the notches spread apart. After that redstone repeater, you're going to go ahead and separate the notches from each other like so, and then a polished black stone wall right after it. We're going to go ahead and take our dark oak wood trapdoors. We're going to place down a row of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 along the sides there, just like that. After that's all done, we're going to go ahead and then grab ourselves some banners. So we'll go ahead and be making these. Now what we're going to need here for these banners is we're going to need a couple different designs here. The first being is you're going to have a black banner. You're going to have a gray line across the bottom of it. Really simple. It's not going to split the banner in half, but it's going to be that lower third of the banner. You're going to have it as that gray. We're going to go then do a second banner. We're going to do the same thing. So the black banner, gray on that bottom third, and then we're going to go and do a line on the left-hand third of the banner. We're going to go ahead and do the same thing, but opposite. So we're going to have the black line, or the black banner, gray line across the bottom, and a gray line going vertically on the right side third. And then the last banner we're going to need is this banner right here. It's again a black banner with a gray line across the bottom third, and then we're going to do the gray border around it. Now the way we're going to set this up is we're going to place down this banner here with the line on the left side, on this side here, and then just the normal banner with just the gray line on the bottom. On the back here, we're going to do the same thing. So we're going to have this gray on the left-hand side, and then our normal black banner. And then on this side over here, it's going to be the black banner. And then we have our banner with the gray on the right-hand side. And then over here, again, the black banner and the gray on the right-hand side. Then on this forward-facing side, we're going to go ahead and place down this banner with the border, just like that for those front windows. And that right there is going to wrap up everything we have there for that layer. And with that, we'll be going ahead and moving into our last final layer. Moving into our last final layer, we have layer number 8. For layer 8 to start with, we're going to go and take pistons, and we're going to place down a row of pistons down the center line. If you are not on Java and don't have access to the debug stick instead of pistons, I would recommend using gray concrete full blocks as an alternative. We're going to go ahead and place down another row of pistons to either side. And then we're going to place down a row of polished black stone slabs to the sides of the pistons. And then lastly, we're going to place down a row of daylight detectors. We're going to go ahead and make sure we turn those to the light bluish gray color on both sides. And we actually want to extend this one more back, so it's going to overhang past the back wall of the cab by 1. So it's going to look like this, and that's going to finish it off there. Again, make sure these daylight detectors are turned to that night mode. Across these pistons, if you have the piston place, we're going to place down some dark oak wood signs. If you don't have the pistons, I would recommend just leaving it blank. Then on the front here, we're going to place down 3 item frames across, then gray concrete in those item frames, and then a dark oak wood sign across the item frames if you're on Java. Just note, if you are not on Java, you will not be able to place down item frames and signs in the same block space, so that would mean that you would have to just place down the item frames and disregard the signs. We're going to then take our debug stick for Java players. We're going to left click the piston until we get selected extended false. And we're just going to go ahead and right click all these pistons like so to go ahead and get rid of that wood portion. And that right there is going to complete everything we have there for the roof of the build. And the very last thing for us to do is a dark oak wood trapdoor on top of that polished black stone wall. And that right there is going to wrap up the build. That is everything we need to do, and that is all we have here for the WR360 C14 locomotive. So hopefully you guys did enjoy this tutorial for the build and are able to put it to good use. Again, this build is mainly designed around to be connected to our Leopold railway gun, or a Krupp K5. It looks really good paired up with it, and it really kind of brings the whole scene together, especially if you have this on display. But you can use it for other applications, towing, you know, cars and rail cars and stuff like that around. But it, again, is kind of more of a short range, you know, low load locomotive. Anyways, though, again, hope you guys do enjoy the design for it. If you do have used this build, I do ask that you guys give me proper credit for it. This can be anything from a side of the build, tweet to my channel, or this video if this does appear on your social media sites. As long as you guys give me proper credit for it, you're free to use it for a project you guys are working on. Overall, enjoy the build, have fun for all that fun stuff. And with that, thank you guys again so much for watching. As always, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. This has been Garrett 2x4, and I'll see you guys next time.